This is Thomas Lyons for Raps on TV, down in the Harringay Irish Centre in Tottenham for the Finchley Home Boxing Show. Fortunate to be joined by former boxer himself and now turned coach at the gym. Firstly, how you doing?
Yeah, good mate, good.
Yeah.
Good.
Do you want to introduce yourself to the platform?
Yeah, so I'm Murat, also known as Muz. I joined the Finchley Boxing Club in 2006, and I boxed for the club until 2015, and at which point I was fortunate enough to be asked to stay on and coach and stay in touch with the sport, so I've been blessed to be able to do that, and so now I'm just trying to help out at the club and coach the boys coming through as best I can.
We talked a bit off camera about your experience in coaching, but now also kind of Finchley as a club, the community integration, the spirit in the gym. I mean, how kind of proud are you to have gone through the boxing game and now be a coach at Finchley?
I was immensely proud to represent the club. Every time I put on that jersey, I was willing. I mean, it sounds a bit far-fetched, but I was willing to go out and go to war for my coaches always. Like the amount of time people like Gary and Sean put into us, drove us all around the country, giving up their own time, weekends, evenings, whatever we needed. And when you're representing coaches like that, and Tracy, the whole club in general, the name of the club, I was just always willing to go in there and give it everything for them, because of the sacrifices they made for us, and I'm happy to take steps to being in that position myself, you know.
Yeah, a massive stable of fighters, but also coaches, and obviously your testament to you, obviously being part of that kind of gym, and they're thriving at the moment. Obviously, I was touching on with a few of the stable mates in the gym that are boxing tonight, the wealth of talent that's come out of the gym, how they've been nurtured from the start right to the top. See Anthony Joshua and the pinnacle of the sport starting at Finchley, but also unbeaten prospects like Mason Smith, 4-0 now as a professional under the British Warriors banner. So yeah, just talk to me a little bit about the talent in the gym at the moment and what you're looking to do to elevate those guys to the top.
The talent, there's always talent in our gym, even from when I first walked in, right through to this current day, and I just think it's the I don't know, the aura of the gym. There's something about it. The coaches, the emphasis they put on fitness, things like fitness, heart, grit. You know, it just comes through. When I was boxing at the time with the guys you mentioned, I was in the same era of them, and we're always known to be fit. The club will take us running. It's not just what goes on in the gym, it's what happens outside of the gym as well. So the running, the strength and the conditioning that they make us do, the Trent Park cross-country runs, and it shows through in the ring, I think, with all the boys. Their attitude, it prepares them mentally. So yeah, and the coaches have a big part to do with it as well. People like Gary Sean and all the coaches past and present, they've all got the same mentality, no nonsense mentality. You don't get away with things in our gym, yeah, that's it, and it shows through.
In terms of the mentality in the gym, fighters that come into the gym perhaps maybe haven't had that sense of structure, routine in the past, but now kind of looking to have that routine in their lives with boxing. I mean, in your personal opinion, having gone through that, done the boxing, now training, still kind of part of the gym, what would you say, or why would you say boxing is such a good form of discipline for these young people? So,
from my personal perspective, when I first walked into the gym, I was a bit wayward, so I boxed at light welterweight when I was boxing at 64 kilo. But when I first walked into the gym, I was about 76, 78 kilo. I wasn't living a particularly clean lifestyle. I had the wrong mentality, so when I found out there was a boxing gym, I thought I could just walk in. I just wanted to walk in and spar, to be honest with you, and fight people, and I didn't understand about everything that's required, and getting carded and representing the club, and I didn't understand all that, but soon it becomes apparent that you can't get away with just jumping in there, and because you know you get hurt and you go home and you sit there and you have a long, hard think about what the things you need to do to mix it up with those boys in there. So it's a steep learning curve, but I think everyone that's been through it, you kind of share that bond. That's why, you know, even the boys I was boxing with in 2008, 2007, we're all still in touch, we're all quite close, because you have that bond that you've gone through the same thing and you've gone through that same learning curve, and you have that mutual respect for each other. So yeah, from my perspective, that's what I've got to say about it.
Yeah, definitely respect that, and obviously the attitude that's portrayed in boxing from the coaches right through to the fighters is good to see, and obviously Finchley have shown testament to that, the talent that's come out of the gym. Just going to ask you about boxing in general. Are you a big boxing fan yourself?
Of course, yeah. Of course I am.
What kind of fighters, past or present, have you kind of been growing up to?
So when I was boxing, I used to watch all the highlight reels and stuff, and there used to be people like Roy Jones Jr., the flashy boxers and that, and Gary used to say to me, you know, you need to watch people like Cesar Chavez Jr. and stuff, and in hindsight it makes sense, because I think my style was more kind of like that than those flashy kind of boxers. So now I've gone through and I look back, now I admire those kinds of fighters, the Chavez Senior, Miguel Cotto is one of my favourites, to be honest with you. The early Miguel Cotto, when he was a light welterweight, the left hooks to the body, I just love all that. Ricky Hatton, just the aggression, the grit. Yeah, they're my favourite kind of fight. Yeah,
and in terms of the heavyweight scene at the moment, I mean, everyone's talking about it. Obviously, Joshua's come through the Finchley gym and has now reached the pinnacle of the sport, unified heavyweight champion, and now making his debut on June 1st at the MSG against Jarrell Big Baby Miller. Obviously, with the triangle of heavyweights, you've got Joshua, Wilder, Fury in the domestic and world scene. Who do you see reigning supreme at the top of that division?
It's Joshua. Yeah, I'm not just saying it because he was a club mate, but just when you look at the tools, every boxer has strengths, right? And so you look at someone like Deontay Wilder, and okay, boxing's maybe not his strength, but power, perhaps you say strength. Someone like Tyson Fury, his boxing abilities, his strength. But Josh, he can combine. He's got power. He's got the supreme boxing ability. He was an elite amateur, Team GB, and honestly, I don't believe someone like Wilder, that kind of style, can compete with somebody that's got that amateur pedigree, that understands the science of the boxing. I just don't think he's got a chance, to be honest. So I can't wait. He will be undisputed. It's just a matter of time, in my opinion.
Yeah, and obviously before I go to talk about the Finchley home show tonight, the boxes you got in the card, just two fights I want to kind of get your opinions on.
Okay.
Obviously this weekend we've got Vasily Lomachenko defending his lightweight title against Anthony Crolla. Also Terence Crawford defending his world title, WBO welterweight title against Amir Khan. I mean, what's your kind of take on both of them fights?
So Lomachenko, we all know he's supreme, he's another elite amateur, Olympic champion. I think it's going to be very hard to beat him. Anthony Crolla's tough, he's very tough, he's proven tough. I just think Lomachenko, he's just too much, he's too skillful. His boxing brain is just too much. In terms of the Khan Crawford fight, Crawford is a fighter that I didn't used to rate at first, because when you watch him, you can't, unless you really pay attention, you can't really see anything special about him, but he's so unbelievably effective, and he's proven it against top fighters. So just because of that, I really rate him at the moment. I think he'll probably have a bit too much for Khan, but I love Khan because he takes he never picks an easy fight, and let's be honest, we know Khan's weaknesses and strengths, there's no hiding from that, but the fact of the matter is he's willing to just go in there and mix it up, and he goes in there willing to stop someone or get stopped himself. Very rarely we see a Khan fight these days go the distance, and you got to love him for that, because it's professional boxing's an entertainment sport, so you want to see someone go in there, either get banged out or bang someone out. That's the reality of it. That's what we want to see. Yeah. So I've got maximum respect for Khan for that. So I'm looking forward to it. Yeah.
I appreciate you for giving your predictions for those fights. Tonight, obviously, got the Finchley home boxing show. I mean, a wealth of different boxers from different areas come down.
Yeah.
It shows that kind of integration in the sport. How many boxers are actually on the card from Finchley?
I think altogether we've got about 11 potentially, or maybe a few more than that. But this is the grassroots of boxers. So all the boxers we've been talking about have come from here, have come from shows like this. So all the people that love to talk about boxing, watch the World Championship fights, the professional fight, and talk about the boxers at the top, they've got to realise they need to support this as well. This is where they come from.
And it is about the small hall scene. Obviously, Mason Smith's come from the small hall scene with British Warriors. That's right, when all this fight kind of showing the element of you've got to support them before they get to that top, before they meet that 100%. Profile.
But because now boxing's really the gap between those small hall shows and this, and the top boxing at Wembley, the O2, Vegas, and all that. The gap's getting wider and wider. Yeah. So if all this disappears, then the elite, the boxing at the top of the game, the professional boxing, is going to suffer as well, realistically. So people need to understand that and get out here and support what's going on.
Yeah, definitely. I mean, boxing at the moment, the way public demand's accelerated, the demand in the sport with politics and money, it kind of overrides the true nature of the sport, which is obviously small scene, good gyms like yourselves at Finchley in London.
Yeah, look, professional boxing's a business. Yeah, it's a business. There's no getting away from that. Yeah, if it don't make money, it don't make sense at the end of the day, unfortunately. But there's massive fight fans out there, and at the end of the day, without the fans, the sport is nothing. Yeah, and people like Andy Joshua understand that, and everything he does, you can see he's always addressing the fans. He wants to keep the fans happy, entertaining. So you need that. You need fighters like that.
Yeah, definitely. And I appreciate you giving us some of your time today, having you on the platform, getting an insight into your journey also, and also the Finchley Boxing Club, their stable. Do you want to shout out your social media outlets to the fans?
I've got all I've got is an Instagram account. It's like _MRC_1.
Okay. I'm sure I'll pick up and share you and keep it simple.
A few boxing things on that. I try and keep updates with what's happening at the club and with the boys that are coming through and the boys I'm training and things like that. So
to be honest, with social media, probably better off not even being on it sometimes. But it's good to obviously promote the clubs around London, around the UK, and also just giving your honest insight for the platform. It's also really appreciate you give us some of your time today.
No problem.
Thomas Lyons, Raps on TV, here with the main man, one of the coaches here at Finchley, and we'll look forward to seeing tonight's show and catching up with you in the future. Top man.